Are electric motorcycles an effective grid down, bug out, get home solution? Let's find out. Two things that I think are really cool about these electric motorcycles. One is they're a lot more quiet than a regular gasoline-powered motorcycle. Significantly quieter. They do make sounds. They have a very distinct kind of whiny sound. They are not nearly as echoey, and the sound doesn't carry nearly as far as a gasoline-powered motorcycle does. So that's nice. Much more quiet. The second thing is you could pick them up and carry them over a log, so they're a truly all-terrain vehicle. I could literally ride straight through the woods. They're very small, very lightweight. I could pick it up over obstacles all day long. It's not a problem. I could go literally anywhere with these things, so that's really, really cool. I do like that a lot. They only weigh about 100 pounds, give or take. You'll have to look up the specs. This one's from Sur-Ron. There's Sur-Ron. They're light enough to pick up. One person could put it in the back of a truck and strap it down really, really easily. It'd probably mount in a typical bike rack, the ones that kind of mount to the hitch on a truck. That would work really well for an SUV or something like that, or a car. If you were to break down somewhere, instead of walking, you just unhitch this baby, hop on it, and you're traveling 45 miles per hour down the road. And the range on them, I haven't tested it, but I would think the range, just on the little bit that I've ridden them, is probably somewhere in the 30 to 40 mile range, give or take, with the battery life with one charge. Maintenance on these is also pretty low. There's no oil changes, there's no air filters, there's no carburetors, none of that stuff. So all you got to do is just maintain the battery for the most part. I mean, I guess tires and that sort of normal wear and tear stuff like brakes is going to be a thing, but it's much less maintenance as far as motorcycles go compared to a gasoline powered bike. In a grid down situation where gasoline is not available, these could definitely be charged with solar panels. 100% sure on that one. So that's definitely a cool factor there. Put a solar panel out in the sunshine, charge this puppy up, and then you've got 30, 40 more miles of range that you can travel on this thing. Weight capacity is a little bit low. I weigh about 175 pounds, and I don't know what these are rated for, the current suspension on them, because basically it's just like a downhill bicycle that they've strapped an electric motor to. So there is a weight limit on them. If you're a bigger guy over 200 pounds, you might have to do something to beef up the suspension a bit on this particular model. So if you want to haul gear, if you're wearing a backpack, all of that stuff, you can't really strap a whole lot of gear to this thing like you could, a motorcycle. These have a little over 300 miles on them, 335 miles on them, which is quite a bit, but, and we haven't had any major issues other than some just little stuff, but that's from abuse. So we've dropped the bike. If the brake levers are pressed at all, the bike won't go. So that's like a safety feature, I guess, that I don't like. I think that's stupid, but if the brake is pushed in at all, you can't go. No go whatsoever. And then after dropping them a couple times, things have gotten bent a little bit, and this is pushed in just a little bit, and that caused it to not work. Water crossings is another concern. It says right on them that you shouldn't cross streams or submerge the thing in water. I've crossed small creeks. Obviously, you saw me cross one there, and I've crossed a deeper one too that was probably the bottom of the motor. Bottom of the motor was in the water, and I didn't have any issues, so it's sealed up well enough. I've ridden in the rain and had no issues with that. So I've ridden some electric motorcycles that have been pretty wimpy, pretty weak, that really bog down really slow, kind of like a golf cart does when you try to climb a steep hill. This is not that. This thing will scream up a hill. Again, I weigh about 175 pounds, and this thing will rip up a steep hill, no problems whatsoever. So that's definitely not an issue with this motorcycle. It's got a headlight, so you can ride it at night. That's pretty handy. It's got a tail light, not a brake light, but it's just got a red tail light. It's not street legal in its current configuration, but I think you can do something to them to turn it into a moped. Something about putting pedals on it, I don't really know, but you could do some research on that and figure out what it would take in your state, because all states are gonna vary. But currently not street legal in this configuration. But and then as far as like bike trails and things like that, if you could take one of these on a bike trail, I don't know if you'd get away with it because it's more motorcycle than bike. It doesn't have any pedals, so you may get busted for that. I wouldn't recommend it, although it'd be really fun. Now, as far as like the EMP situation, would this bike be affected by an EMP? Probably. I mean, it's fully electric. It's all electrical. So I'm guessing that it would probably not function well after a large EMP event. Some of you experts out there could probably tell me different. So you might want to do something to protect it, keep it in some sort of metal building to keep it safe. So for a bugging out situation, I don't think this is the best option unless you have a very short distance to bug out to and you've got a way to charge it at the location you're heading to. For getting home, if you could put this in the back of your truck, on a bike rack on the back of your SUV, that's really cool. I don't know if you'd want to keep it on there all the time because the likelihood of it getting stolen, that could be a thing. But as far as the grid down situation, power's been out. You got a few solar panels set up to charge this thing up. You can no longer get gasoline. I think that would be a really, really handy thing to have around, something like this. You can carry a backpack really, really easily. If I had to go 30 miles with a backpack on walking, that would be rough, 30 miles with a backpack. With this, you could do it in less than an hour probably. So that would be really, really cool. Anyway, I really do appreciate you watching, guys. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up, subscribing if you haven't done so already. I can't wait to see you on the next video. Make sure you're leaving a comment. Tell me what you think about this. Is it practical? Is it useful? Is it something that you think would be beneficial in a grid down, bug out, get home situation? Maggie, Maggie, out of there. Maggie, back it up. I've got an armadillo. Maggie, back up.
Maggie, come. Come.
Maggie found us an armadillo, and if this is a survival situation, yes. Armadillos do carry leprosy. They've been known to have leprosy, and I think it's mostly located on their little feet, like in between their toes and stuff. They carry, I don't know if it's a bacteria or a virus, whatever it is, leprosy is. But anyway, if I was going to eat that armadillo, I would. This is not the first time I've encountered an armadillo and thought about eating it. I've actually did this when I was in Louisiana. We tried to smoke an armadillo out of a hole. It didn't work, but we were going to roast it over the fire. I was basically going to scorch it over the fire in an attempt to kill any leprosy that might be on it and not eat its feet, clearly.